Good morning, students. Today we are continuing with the last part of the chapter 4, reproductive health. Just to recall what was done earlier, so you have studied about your family planning program. In that, the improved program, the improved or advanced program is your RCH program. In that, you have studied about the different awareness steps, how to educate the people about reproductive health. So, RCH full form, reproductive and child health care program. Okay, so after that you have studied about your population stabilization, how population is sustained at a normal rate with the help of RCH program. Okay, that is what you have known, but it is not kept under control because it is still increasing, and that is why they have told it is marginal. Okay, the growth rate is marginal though the RCH program is done. So you remember about the 20 births out of the 1,000 are your Indians. So that is what we have told, 20% in the census of May 2011. Okay. Then you had studied about the birth control methods. Why is birth control required? Remember the topic population explosion. That population explosion in your present textbook is converted to population stabilization. Okay. Now this they have brought this forward to control the number of births. Now when I say birth, some are uncontrolled, some are unwanted births. Okay, for that reason there should be the slogan which government has put forward, hum do hamara do in a family. So this is how they have brought under control. But to help to assist the people to keep the control in birth, they have brought forward certain devices. So we have already studied about the natural methods, barrier methods, the IUDs, then there is your oral pills and surgical methods. So there are various which you have studied already. Now all those were your reproductive health, how to look after the reproductive organs, what is the maintenance, and what are the myths we should not take it seriously, what are the misbeliefs. All that should be taught, all that should be like shown in through awareness programs. Now we are talking about some certain cases. Okay, there are unwanted pregnancies. You might have heard about rape cases. You may have heard about there is difficulties in giving birth to a child because the mother is suffering from such and such problem, such and such diseases, or the child is deformed. It is not normal to look during the ultrasound. So that is a time, the couple can decide as well as the doctor suggests. So than taking the risk and looking after the young one who is very much deformed or delicate, can be terminated during the pregnancy period or gestation period. So we call that as your medical termination of pregnancy. Now this, when I say termination, remember the word termination itself says the end of pregnancy. But here we are giving the term the end. It is not simply to kill. When I say simply to kill, it is abortion. Okay, abortion. Now, what is medical termination of pregnancy? Now, this is MTP in short form. When I say MTP, again, it is a kind of abortion. Since it is a kind of abortion, we write it as induced abortion. Okay, so the two terms, medical termination of pregnancy, also called as your induced abortion. So you can see the word here. So one more question, what is MTP? Define MTP, expand MTP, what is induced abortion? Okay, all that your answer is right here. So it is intentionally, you're doing it on purpose, okay, or voluntarily. When I say voluntarily, meaning to say you are coming forward to terminate the pregnancy. Now remember, when I say abortion, it is illegal now. We are talking about in medical terms under certain cases. That certain cases, there is an act that is passed and is only compulsory only if the child or the mother is facing problems. Then only to terminate, not otherwise. Okay, so it is not simply to kill a life which is just formed. Now this is intentional or voluntary termination of pregnancy before the full term. Now when I say before the full term, you should know when is the right time to terminate. Okay, so before we understand that, let us know what the government had in their mind when they brought forward this act. So Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act was enacted by the government. Why? To reduce, the intention was to reduce the illegal abortion. First is that. Okay, so this act was brought only to reduce the illegal abortion. You might have seen in certain films, they have told, they show the picture where a female who is simply has become pregnant because of the unprotected sex, she has to go and meet the person for abortion. So it is not simply to go and abort. So you might have seen the fashion movie, or there is one more movie where it tells about how unprofessional medical people, they are really do not have any registration, but they just simply remove the fetus from the uterus, and that can cause a lot of problems. So such people are illegal people, they make money like that. That is why medical termination of pregnancy act is brought forward first, to reduce the incidence of illegal abortion. So it should not be simply killing the child. We are telling about if there is a problem with the mother, if there is a problem with the child, then only the abortion can be done, induced abortion. That is why the government has put forward to reduce unnecessary abortion. So what was the main aim? To check the indiscriminate and female feticides. You know about amniocentesis, where the sex of the child is known, and it is still in certain societies, they are still doing this. The moment the female is they identified, they immediately go and abort. Okay, or not only the abortion, even they'll kill. If the female child is born, they will try to kill it. So this is the female feticide. So feticide, when I say, it is within the womb itself. So that is again. So to check that, government had come forward. So it was legalized to abort, okay, in the year 1971, but under strict condition. Strict condition is female feticide is not allowed. The moment if they come saying that it is the female, I don't want that child, no, government will not allow that. That is a strict condition. What is that legalized MTP? Only if the mother or the child is having certain medical problems. It is difficult to give birth. It's a risk for the any one of the life. That's why it is legalized to terminate. That is what government says. Government will not allow for female killing. So this is how they have told. Since the female feticide is high in India, they have told this is how it works. Okay, how government of India is acting. And overall, even around the world, there is your MTP programs. Okay, and if you just see the count, you see over here it is 40 to 50 million abortions. That is the induced abortions, we call it as MTP. In a year, so much will be occurring, so many will be occurring, so many induced abortions occur. So that is your 1/5 of the total number of conceived pregnancies. Okay, so this is all about your how the act goes about. Now we'll understand why that MTP is needed. First, it is all about getting rid of unwanted pregnancies. Now what is that unwanted pregnancies? Maybe because of unprotected intercourse, okay, between a relationship where they are not married, and they'll have an intercourse which is not protected. Okay, then there are, as I told, all the contraceptives are like 99.9%. When I say 99.9%, there is 1% of failure, 0.01% of failure. So that is what we are saying. There could be chances of failure of contraceptive use. Okay, then y'all know about this common problem. due to rapes. There are females who get pregnant, so that is unwanted pregnancy. So MTP allows for them to for abortion. Then they have told about the certain cases. Okay, when I say certain cases, which I told, the pregnancy, if continued, could be danger to the fetus or to the mother or both. Okay, if there is a problem, if there is a danger coming, if the pregnancy is continued, then the termination should be done. So I hope you understood why MTP is needed. So these are your answers. Mainly to get rid of unwanted pregnancy. Unwanted pregnancies are caused because of what? Because of all these reasons. Okay, so you have understood about this is what these three is how it is causing the unwanted pregnancy. Okay, therefore the government allows them for termination. Okay, and again it has a certain procedures. It is not simply going to kill the life. It is, certain procedures are there. Then there is your, the legalized action of MTP. That is, if the pregnancy has certain danger, so it cannot be continued. It may be risk to the mother or to the fetus or to the both mother as well as the fetus. That's why it needs to be terminated. So you have understood about why MTP is needed. Now coming about when do we have to conduct the medical termination of pregnancy. So when it is safe, relatively safe during the first trimester up to 12 weeks. So first trimester has 12 weeks, second trimester 24 weeks we say. Now remember which is the most safe one? 12 weeks, that is the first trimester. And this one professional registered person, registered under the medical law, so registered medical practitioner is needed, is compulsorily needed for the medical termination of pregnancy. Remember, so relatively safe during the first trimester, that is up to 12 weeks. Okay, first trimester. Then you should remember to conduct this, one is needed compulsorily. Now imagine this is the, they have not identified during the first trimester the problems, but the second trimester they have understood. Now that is a time where it is very riskier and abortion can be done, but very risky. Life can be gone. Okay, one of the life can be gone. That is why they say riskier. So in this process, in this particular medical termination, 2 professional registered medical practitioners are required. Very compulsory. Okay. Now, who conducts? You have understood it is the professional registered medical practitioners. So it could be one, that is if it is in first trimester. When it is 2, of course, when the pregnancy is crossed first trimester and it is in the second trimester, then it is of risk to, conduct MTP. Now, there are, as I've told in films and all, people show that scene where the girl gets pregnant. So I'll just tell you about one movie. It is that hate story, some hate love, I think it is something that way. There the story, it says the female, was used by a guy. She gets pregnant, but the boy just used her so that he gets the fame. After that, when she tries to contact him back, he was like, no, not bothered. But then she took as a revenge, saying that the child within me is your child, and I can take any fame that is there with you. I can take it back. This way, the revenge from the boy was he kidnapped the girl. He first fooled her, kidnapped the girl, and then he took it to a place, a very remote place. Okay, that place where you might have seen small hospitals. There are certain illegal hospitals that are running still. So such places he took her and he aborted. So it is based on true story actually. It is a true story. He made to abort the child, and that abortion was done by a non-medical practitioner. He was not even a professional person. They are just doing it for money. Abortion is by money. So such people who are just doing for money, that is abortion is done by not a different person, not a professional one. Such people are called as unqualified quacks. Okay? So those people, once if they handle the uterus in a misway, they'll mishandle the uterus than taking care of it. So if they mishandle the uterus, the female will not be able to conceive again. And the same story explains in that story, in that movie, where the girl gets kidnapped. She gets, after operated, she was thrown on a road. And after that, luckily she recovered by a person, unknown person, helping her, recover in a hospital. And then the hospital people told her that she is no more able to conceive. And that is how, the story keeps telling there are many illegal things around the world. So there are many stories which is true, based on true stories. So one example was that I told you. I hope you have understood the story. So that is what I was trying to tell. They are not safe. Such remote places, unqualified quacks will be handling to abort. So this is how they do it illegally, and this needs to be checked, which is escaping from the government's eye. So you have understood, it could be unsafe or it can be fatal. When I say fatal, it could be the death. It could lead to death. Next, we have understanding about the diseases now. So it is important before an intercourse is done, before even marriage is fixed. Some people go forward to be verified about the health, especially about the STDs. So the checkup is done so that the family is safe. People usually ignore this part. This is very important during the awareness program. So when we say the education of STDs, so there are various, we are not going in detail, we are just going overview, like what it is, what are the different STDs, and how it is caused, how it can be prevented. So we are studying only the basics. Okay, so sexually transmitted infections. So your word STD, STI, don't get confused. From infection only one disease comes. That is why sexually transmitted infections. It is also another term, venereal disease. Venereal means genital. Okay, it is talking about the genital organs. So venereal diseases, or the another term, reproductive tract infections. So all these are one. Different names, but all mean the one. So all this you can say under STD itself, the different terminologies. So one more question, if they ask what are venereal diseases, what are RTI, what define STI, so like that if they say, you should be able to write this particular definition for all three, because all three mean the same. So infections or diseases which are caused or transmitted through sexual intercourse. Okay, so diseases transmitted through sexual intercourse, they are called as sexually transmitted infections, also called venereal diseases, as well as reproductive tract infections. So which are the certain common STIs? Gonorrhea, syphilis, genital herpes, chlamydiasis, genital warts, trichomoniasis, hepatitis B, and very much studied HIV, which leads to AIDS. HIV, it's the name of a virus which comes in this list. AIDS, we are talking about the accumulation of all those different symptoms. AIDS full form, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Syndrome means collection of symptoms, collection of diseases also. So here HIV is the name of the virus, human immunodeficiency virus. That is your HIV. So it's the most dangerous one compared to all. Okay, it's the most dangerous one, very infectious through blood contact. So these are certain examples with the, they've even told the name of it. Those who cannot see it, please avoid this slide. I'm going to the next one. So when the notes is provided, you can either avoid it. Discretion is advised. Some cannot look at the pictures because of the, diseased condition. Let us understand the transmission, the mode of transmission, how this comes. What could be the reason for it to transmit from one person to another? Of course, it is transmitted first by sexual act. Is there any other than the sexual act? Yes. There is, if the blood is in contact. So how the transfusion of blood comes? Sharing the injection needles, surgical instruments. It could be anything, like even when you go to the salon, especially the boys, when they have to shave, the blade should be new. It should be sterilized with hot water. They will use the same blade. So when they shave, definitely there is a certain wounds created. Blood comes in contact. It is not visible to our eyes. The virus is not visible to our eyes. Even if you wash simply, virus can still stay on the object. So it is very important you sterilize in hot water. So similarly, at present, how we are talking about coronavirus, please be careful, because it is not visible to eyes where it is present. It is in the air right now. So it is, the infection for corona is different. That is the nasal passage as well as the nasal passage, you can say. Okay, here coming back to your STIs. So you understood it is main blood contact. So it is, if the sharing of needles are there. When I say needles are shared, I'm not talking about the medical people. Medical people will never, in hospitals, they never share the needles. I'm talking about people who take drugs. You might have seen certain, movies or videos. People take drugs, through a syringe. Now they do not, think about the hygienity. They do not think about this transmission of STI, and they simply share. Okay, some even after knowing they will ignore because they don't have any, value for their life. So that is their mentality right now. So I hope you have understood of what is that sharing of needles is. So that is, if one person is infected is enough, it can pass through sharing of all these instruments. If contact of blood is there, then it goes to the another person. There are chances from the infected mother to fetus, that is through blood. So HIV positive mothers need to be very careful. So it is very important. So during the parturition there is contact of blood. The blood can, really affect the child. Very important is that. So we'll understand the symptoms right now. So symptoms of all these STIs, it is first early symptoms to be identified is itching. Then there's fluid discharge. Okay, so don't worry about what this fluid discharge is. The whitish fluid is normal. Okay, this I had heard before also, the doubt. So white fluid discharge is normal, but if it is excessive discharge, lots keep just discharging, it is non-stop, that is your early symptoms of STI. Even there is slight pain, there is swelling that is occurred, especially where all this occurs in the genital region. So most of them can be asymptomatic. That is why they get undetected. Okay, so if it is absent, or that is asymptomatic, or it is like less significant symptoms, very few symptoms are seen, okay, during the early stage of infection. Okay, if it is ignored, people will not take it seriously. So if it is ignored, then it will be complicated. What is that complications later on? See, there is a lot of other diseases that are coming. Pelvic inflammatory diseases, abortion, stillbirths. Another name for stillbirth is your miscarriage. Then ectopic pregnancies. When I say ectopic pregnancies, you all know about the female reproductive tract. So the embryo will grow on the inner side of the inner side of the uterus. When I say ectopic, it could be inside the fallopian tube itself or near the ovary itself. Okay, so sometimes that is how it is happening. So other than the womb, pregnancies occur, so that is called as ectopic pregnancies. It can even lead to infertility or cancer. So it is all in your reproductive tract as well as your full female reproductive system. We are talking about it. So this is what we are saying about the symptoms that are caused. Let us understand what prevention can be. So when I say prevention, it is the early detection only. Prevention cannot be done afterwards. There is no reversing, action. It is only a treatment. Only if you are detecting early, there is cure. Remember, early detection can be cured. If you detect later on, you cannot prevent it. So we are talking about the prevention. So it is under the reproductive health care programs itself. It can be understood how to avoid the unwanted diseases, unwanted sexually transmitted infections. So certain principles they have given to prevent STIs, that is avoid sex with unknown partner or multiple partners. Though we are saying it is the we will be having only a boy and a girl in a marriage, we are talking about certain relationships. They are staying together but they are not married. So it is an unknown partner. Or if it is known partner also, you should know the person first. So avoid the sex with unknown partners. Then multiple partners, when I say, about certain prostitutes, it is majorly from them. They are there in them also there are positive cases. Then to avoid the transmission, we have to say use condoms during the intercourse. So that's what they have told, though it is not 100% sure. Okay, as we said before, it could be a failure too. Now yes, there's one more here. In case you find any of those particular symptoms, then you have to approach to the qualified doctor, okay, and then take the complete treatment. So if it is diagnosed with infection, the doctor will immediately let you know. If you are not, they will tell you how to take precautionary measures. Okay, so never neglect the symptoms. Now let us understand about the infertility. So you can see the picture. She's sad. She's holding her womb, thinking about conceiving, thinking about having a family. Okay, but she's sad. Why is she sad? She's not able to produce the or conceive. Now when I say not able to produce child, we say infertility. The person is called as infertile. Okay, infertility, it is like a phenomenon. Okay, so both the terms I've just said, this is the one which you have to write in the exam. So it is a state, when I say infertile, a state where the couples are unable to produce children in spite of unprotected sexual cohabitation. When I say unprotected, they want to have a child. So they will not use any of the barriers, they will not use any of the contraceptives. Because they want the child, they will have the sexual act. When I say cohabitation, this is an important word. It need not be the married couples. It can be any couples in relationship who want to have child. Okay, so especially in America, you'll find them. Even if they don't get married, they'll have children. So I hope you have understood about phenomenon is infertility. Infertile, it is a state of the person. So what causes infertility? Many reasons are there. When I say physical, it could be the organ structure, the reproductive organ, which is not in the right position or not in the right shape. There could be some defect in the shape. Okay, which can be corrected. Okay, which can be corrected, but we cannot trust it. Congenital, from birth. from birth only she is unable to produce. Disease, as we just now studied, STIs. Okay. Then drugs. Overdose of drugs can really put an end to the reproduction capacity. Immunological, it is the self body is unable to identify what the action should be done, the hormonal actions should be done, and hence there are immune response to destroy those hormones which are supposed to initiate the process for your gametogenesis, for embryogenesis, all that process. So it could be some immunological problem where even after embryo is formed it is killed. So that is based on the genetic matter. Psychological, of course, I've seen this case as I've done a study in about epilepsy. That is convolutions, we call it as fits, uncontrolled twitching of the hand and all. And you might have seen, so froth comes out of the mouth, they bite their tongue, the eyes rolls up, they become stiff, they keep vibrating, they are like twitching. So such people, it's very dangerous when if it comes to the pregnant women. And such one case I had to make a study where the female was overdosed and she was pregnant. She luckily gave birth in a normal condition. She gave birth, but she was not in a sense of mind because she was having major convulsions, major fits, and she was not able to accept the child for breastfeeding. So this is all the psychological problems. So it is, the brain is unable to take balance between the life and work. So how can we overcome the problem of infertility? Of course, there are infertility clinics which you've heard about now. You might have heard about IVFs, that is in vitro fertilization, IVF program, IVF clinic. So it is your actually infertility clinics. What will they do? They will help those couples. They will also assist them to have children, okay, through a particular technique called as ART. What is that? Assisted reproductive technologies. Let us understand what is that ART. So there are 4 main types. So in vitro fertilization, which is followed by embryo transfer, in vivo fertilization, intracytoplasmic sperm injection, artificial insemination. Sorry. Now when I say in vitro fertilization, we say in short IVF. So that is followed by embryo transfer. Embryo transfer 2 types, 2 techniques, ZIFT and IUT. Similarly, in vivo fertilization, it is GIFT technique. Intracytoplasmic injection is another only, it is another technique. And under artificial insemination, we say IUI technique. So you'll understand one by one. When I say in vitro fertilization, in vitro means inside the lab. You know about your test tube baby? So that's what it is. IVF, in vitro fertilization. Fertilization is outside the body, but it is inside the laboratory conditions. Outside the body in almost similar condition as in the body in the lab, okay, in the lab. So laboratory conditions, but the condition is similar to body. So after the in vitro fertilization, after the sperm and the eggs are fused, then the embryo transfer has to take place. So what is that? We'll study in detail the process. First I'll show you the process, popularly known as the test tube baby. Okay, so IVF also called as, that is in vitro. Vitro means outside the female body. So ova from the donor, or it may be from the wife, or it may be from the donor. If the wife is unable to produce gamete, then donor is needed. Then the sperms, again from the husband or donor, they are collected and put in the test tube. Okay, in the test tube they are induced. How they are induced? Certain factors are needed, certain hormones, certain protein factors are needed for them to form zygote, otherwise they'll simply die. So that is the condition we have to keep. So under the simulated, when I say simulated, it's giving a same environment just like how it happens within the female reproductive organ. So simulated condition in the laboratory. So you've understood? I'll just show you the picture now. It's collecting the egg. It's collecting, see, from the ovary it is collecting. And you all know about how sperms are collected. Through ejaculation only they are collecting. You might have heard about Vicky Donor, the movie. So such movies help in learning sex education also. Now that is how the sperms are collected, through ejaculation, and they are stored. So once the female egg is collected, in the test tube, it is made to fuse. So you can see the fusion here. You can see the sperm that fuses with the egg. That egg will develop into the embryo. At that particular embryo stage, they will have to wait. Morula stage, blastocyst stage. So morula is the right stage. When it reaches morula stage, they will insert using a cannula into the uterus for implantation. So when implantation is done, again injection is given to the female body, injection of certain progesterons, so that it can be ready, the body should be ready to accept that embryo. Otherwise it will just kill off. There are certain immunological cells also that will just kill the embryo otherwise. So you have understood about it. So I hope it is clear. So it's all test tube baby here. Very important, test tube baby. So that is where your zygote is formed. Now we'll understand once the zygote is formed. Okay. So here only till zygote is formed inside the test tube itself. So we are still here. It is not gone back to the female. So I was here. We are talking about this phase here. Induce for zygote formation. Now this zygote will form embryo. So this is how embryo is formed. Once embryo is formed, we have to transfer it back into the female or into the donor. The donor, even if when the donor receives the embryo, and later when the embryo develops, such mothers are called as surrogate mothers. You might have heard about surrogacy, surrogate mother, where they are paid to look after the child. That is the pregnancy period. So it is legal for those who are unable to conceive in their womb. So this is the second part of in vitro fertilization. So after test tube baby is formed, that is in the test tube, the embryo is formed at morula stage, then they will have to shift back into the female. How will they shift? There are two types, ZIFT and IUT. What is that ZIFT? The zygote or the early embryo up to 8 blastome years. Up to 8 blastome years. So up to 8 blastome years, it is just initial, not even morula. Morula is 8 to 16, right? So this is before morula stage. You can transfer, but where you have to transfer? In the fallopian tube. That is why such embryo transfer is termed as ZIFT. ZIFT means zygote intrafallopian transfer. Okay. Now, in case the time is little past further, the embryo consists of more than 8 blastome years. That time it is morula stage. Okay. After morula is blastocyst. So implantation has to be done in the uterus. So the transfer is into the uterus for more than 8 blastome years. Okay. So such transfer is called as intrauterine transfer. Intra, within the uterine. So intrauterine transfer, and then it is left for its further development. I hope it is clear. After test tube embryo is formed, so you have collected the ova from the wife or the donor, you have collected sperms from the husband or the donor, you have put in the test tube. In the test tube zygote forms, then zygote will develop into embryo. So embryo, I am saying, if it is early embryo with up to 8 blastome years, then it is inserted into the fallopian tube, that is ZIFT. If the embryo is having more than 8 blastome years, then it is inserted into the uterus. That is intrauterine transfer. Clear? Now we are going to the second type. In vitro is done. In vitro means outside the body. Now in vivo, within the body. Now what is the difference between in vivo and normal fertilization? See, in vivo is where, now imagine a female is there, but she cannot produce the egg, or she cannot conceive at all, or she has a good uterus, but there is a problem with the ovum that is not producing a functional ovum. The ovary is not producing the functional ovum. So there are various cases where the female is simply lacking at one particular phase where she is unable to conceive. So we are saying fusion of gametes and formation of embryo within the female itself, and this is used, this is used for the females who cannot conceive. So what is the action here? It is gamete transfer. Before, what it was? Zygote and embryo. Now we are talking about gamete transfer. So that is your gift. What is gift? Transfer of an ovum collected from the donor. Now imagine there is one person who is able to donate ovums. Because this one lady is unable to produce ovum, she takes the ovum from the donor. Once it is collected, it is inserted directly into the fallopian tube. So this transfer, gamete intra-fallopian transfer, is done for those females who cannot conceive, those females who cannot produce gametes. So it could be the other way around. Other way around is like the wife, or the lady who wants to conceive is unable to conceive because her womb is not right. There could be some defect, but she is producing a good functional ovum. So that ovum is collected and given to surrogate mother. Surrogate mother is the one who is able to carry the embryo, develop into the complete fully developed fetus, and then give birth and give it back to the donor. The donor is the wife or the lady who wanted the baby. Or her ovum is given. So this is the other way around. So this is what they are saying. It could be the transfer of another female who cannot produce one. That's what I said. Imagine a wife, she is unable to produce the child, but she has the capacity to produce the egg. That is what I'm saying. So she cannot produce one, but has to provide suitable environment for fertilization and further development. So we are taking about surrogate mother. We are talking about problems within the female. Ovum is not ready, but the uterus is well developed. This is what we are saying. So uterus is well developed, but ovum is not produced. So it could be the surrogate mother also. So there are various ways, but we are talking about gamete intra-fallopian transfer. So this is for those who cannot conceive at all. For surrogate mothers, it is either in vitro. We always follow in vitro fertilization. So this is your gift. So the female, the wife, who is unable to produce ovum, will be inserted with ovum along with the mixture of semen. So semen is mixed with the eggs. First it is collected, you can see here, mixed and put it back. So the fertilization occurs in the ampullary isthmic junction. This is what they are creating, a normal natural scene. But what they have done is they have assisted in such a way, let them have the natural process of fertilization, but we need to insert the egg and the sperms. There is no coitus here. It is only insertion directly through surgical methods. Now coming to third type, intra, remember, cytoplasmic sperm injection. Look at the picture first. You can see the egg. You can see the injection coming into and releasing the sperm. Remember, it is not releasing the sperm, only the sperm nucleus. This is just a graphic picture. This is not the real picture. So remember, intracytoplasmic sperm injection, it's a specialized procedure to form an embryo in laboratory in which a sperm is directly injected into the ovum. Okay, so when it is injected, it is to be seen, it is not putting completely the sperm inside, only the sperm nucleus is put inside. Okay, that is actually the process. Here the picture shows the sperm. Okay, even in your you remember in your fertilization process, the sperm remains only till the walls as it penetrates. Once it reaches the cytoplasm, it will release the nucleus. So we are mainly talking about the nucleus fusion. Sperms are made to inject into the ovum. So here they have reached till the center. So this is only graphics. For you all, no diagrams in this topic. I hope it is clear with your intracytoplasmic sperm injection. So 1 mark full for expansion they can ask. Then finally we are talking about artificial insemination. So what is this artificial insemination? We are artificially introducing the semen into the female reproductive tract. So there is no coitus here. But why are we doing this? That is a big question. So here the question is infertility case. What is that infertility case? Inability to inseminate by the male. Okay, the male is unable to inseminate properly into the female's reproductive tract, or it could be low sperm count. So that both these are your infertility factors in your male partner. So this is a big question. How can we overcome? Yes, there is a solution to this problem, and that is corrected by artificial insemination technique. A 1 mark question. What could be the reason? What is let me just ask you in a better way. Infertility in males can be overcome through which technique? That is artificial insemination. The semen is collected and it is checked that the number of sperms is kept at 200 to 300 million sperms. You all remember per ejaculate, that is a normal count. But because of this infertility case, they will suffer, they will be unable to fertilize the egg. Very important, as I told before in fertilization topic in human reproduction, the sperm has to travel a lot till the fallopian tube to meet the ovum. So in that 400 will die off. 400 will survive, not die. 400 only will survive. The rest will all die. Now in that, I'm talking about 200 to 300 millions. Out of that millions, how many are surviving? Only 400. Now if the sperm count is low, what happens? Can that 400 be there surviving? Not even that much. So we have to see that those 400 will survive, right? That much at least it should be there. So we are saying that is how possibility of fertilization is sure. If the sperm count is less, then it is a difficult process. So that's what they have told. You have understood about the two main reasons to bring about a correction, that is artificial insemination can be done. So what is this artificial insemination? The male partner has to give its sperms to the female partner. So that can be corrected through artificial insemination. What is done here? The process is here. Semen is collected. So it is from the husband or from the donor, artificially introduced into the vagina or the uterus. So if it is into the uterus, we give the term intrauterine insemination. This is the most safest one, intrauterine insemination, because if you just insert in vagina, then it has to travel a lot. So this is the best one. Okay, intrauterine insemination. You can see here how the sperm is just inserted artificially into the uterus. This is the uterus. Okay, this is the sperm collected and kept in sterile medium. When I say sterile, it is safe from contamination. So if you have to compare, so there is your gift where gametes are placed here. Gametes are placed. Okay, that is gift. Gamete intrafallopian transfer. What is IVF. I hope you remember IVF. So part of it is here, the gamete transfer. IVF, you're collecting the egg, you're collecting the sperms. In the test tube, zygote forms, then embryo is formed, and this embryo is transferred back into the female reproductive organ. So it is either early means just fertilized, zygote, intrafallopian transfer. Okay, otherwise it is your IUT, intrauterine transfer. Here it is, don't get confused, intrauterine insemination. There it was because you are inserting sperms, so it is insemination. Whereas your, see, this is insemination. Let me just come back to the picture where I had kept last for you. Okay, here we are inserting the embryo. That's why it is intrauterine transfer, IUT. Transfer, embryo transfer, that's why. So under embryo transfer, ZIFT and IUT. So any doubts, let me know. Now you want conclusion about it. Since all these, techniques, they are highly precision, handled by specialized professionals, it is expensive. So all this you should be very aware of it. It's not a game, it's not that easy to do it. So it is, extremely high precision handling. Okay, so only that specialized professionals can do this. Otherwise it is going to be a failure. So these facilities are not available much in India. Okay, not much, only few are there. So now at present you can see you can find certain IVF centers that have come up. So it is slowly advancing, so to help the infertile couples. So remember, since it is very expensive, it is only affordable to limited number of people. What about the ones who cannot afford? Don't worry. In India, we have a lot of orphan people, destitute children. Sorry, not orphan people, children. Okay, so they can be taken care of. So they need also the parental care. They need a family. So the Indian law permits legal adoption of such orphan or destitute children. So that is what is your ultimate aim. In India, we are just seeing for those who are unable to afford for the IVF or any of those assisted reproductive technologies, ART. Those who are unable to afford, then they can go for this particular adoption. So ultimate aim is just to have children, right, for all these procedures. So for those who are unable to afford, we have in India a lot of orphan children. So let me know if you have any doubts. We are done with the chapter. Okay, any doubts, let me know. Thank you.